Hello, hello, and welcome to day one of the Rhythm Challenge to Rhythm Talent Workshops. I think these are going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, we have everything going. It looks like that's working. It looks like this is working. Yeah, it looks like we're in good shape. Cool. So go ahead and as we're going through this, feel free to post any questions that you have in the chat, and we'll be taking a look at those. Of course, as always, I'm always happy to get some interaction. If you're here, if you're hearing me, I would love to just a quick check in that things seem to be functioning properly. It looks like everything's good though. So I'm looking forward to this. I think this challenge is going to be fantastic, these workshops. So let me talk about what this is actually. So I recently have released my newest course called True Rhythm Mastery. I think it's a great course that's really going to take you in depth into truly mastering rhythm. That's the whole goal of it. And I wanted to share some of the sort of tips and some of the ideas from that in a little bit more concentrated and just sort of getting it out there so people can learn more about sort of my thought process when it comes to rhythm so it can be easier. Rhythm is one of those things that I've seen many students struggle with. And I think it's one of those things that's actually pretty easy to learn if you learn it in the right way. So that's what I'm here to do is help you all get a really strong, good grasp of rhythm. It's also the number one most important part of music. So that's really important to me. So a couple overviews of these workshops. Like I said, I'm going to try to make them as quick as possible. I tend to get long-winded and it's live, so bear with me, but I'm going to try to really get to the points on all of these things. There's going to be actions to do at the end. This is sort of the challenge part of it. I have some sort of homework or some implementation work or a challenge for you to actually do something at the end of every single one of these days. I'm going to be going live every single day for this week, Monday through Saturday, so we can get in there and just get one good idea, get some work to implement it so you can be moving forward. As we're going through this stuff, a lot of this may seem somewhat simple or straightforward or like things that you already know, but I really encourage you to just give it a try. If I explain an exercise and you're like, well, yeah, I could probably do that. I don't think that's that big of a deal. Then great. But don't skip doing it. Actually do it because it's going to make a difference. Even if you already have a good grasp of whatever concept I'm talking about, still do the work. These are the kinds of exercises that I do regularly. These are the exercises that when I was building my foundation in rhythm made the biggest difference. So do these exercises and it'll really help. I saw a few weeks ago now on Facebook a quote that like is my personal mantra now because I loved it so much. And it was that there's no such thing as advanced skills. There's only fundamental skills. And there's advanced situations that require strong fundamentals. So as we're going through this is the fundamentals. These are the important things. If you want a magic wand that's going to make your rhythm better, these are the things. There's no fancy thing. If it doesn't sound like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, you don't need some, oh my gosh, amazing things to solve your rhythm. You need the fundamentals, the simple stuff that's going to make a difference. So for today, that's sort of an overview of the whole thing that we're going to be getting into over the next 5 days from now. But for today, what I want to make sure is two things. One, I want you to know that you can do rhythm. No matter how much you've struggled with it, no matter how difficult it's been, no matter how many different rhythm things you've tried, you absolutely are capable of doing it. And then the second thing that I want to do is make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of how to actually count, which is the part of rhythm most of us know. So first on the you can do it, I did a video a couple weeks ago. I've done this rant a few times, but I'm a pretty firm believer that there's no such thing as talent. Talent is just something that we ascribe to people who've put in the work to develop their skills. When we see somebody and they're like, oh, they're just so talented and such a natural at this, it's not because they're a natural. It's because they've spent time working on the skill. So everybody can be talented. Everybody can be a natural if you put in the time to develop the skill. And for some people, maybe it's going to take a little more time. Maybe that's what talent is it's a little bit faster for others. But honestly, I think for those that it's faster for, it's either they're working in the right way or they have a little previous experience going into it, which is still just skill that's building. So that's what the whole point of this is. Rhythm challenge to rhythm talent is I want you to all feel naturally talented at rhythm by the end of this week. And if you do the homework, I think you have a good chance at that. I do want to prove this to you though, real quick. So I want to do a little exercise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clap a steady beat and I want you to clap along with me. Then I'm going to stop clapping, but I want you to continue clapping that steady beat. Then I'm going to resume clapping again, and hopefully my steady beat stayed continuous through that silence. And we should line up if your steady beat was steady. And just to really be honest, I'm going to pull up my metronome and I'm going to put it on silently so only I can hear it. And so I can really make sure that when I start clapping again, it's really still on the same steady beat. So I'm going to start clapping. Listen to that. Clap with me. I'm going to stop clapping. You keep clapping. And then check in when I start clapping again if we're together. So let's give this a try. Now I'm going to stop, but you keep clapping. So with that exercise, if you were able to still be with me when I started clapping again, if you were clapping with me, then you're golden. You have all the talent that you need to be great at rhythm. And even if you were a little off, if you knew that you were off, that's all the talent you need to be good at rhythm. If you were off and then adjusted and fixed it once I started clapping again, that's all the talent you need to be good at rhythm. So as long as you can do that, you're in good shape. Honestly, if the only way you wouldn't have passed that test is if you didn't know you were off, and in that case, you didn't know you didn't pass it. So hey, you're in good shape anyway. So seriously, if you can do that, then you're good, and you can 100% learn rhythm and have great rhythm if you put in the work to develop the skill. So I also did a video recently on how we were taught wrong about how rhythm actually works. I think this is very true for most of us when we were taught rhythm. We were taught note values, and like a quarter note's 1 beat, an eighth note's half a beat, a half note's 2 beats, which is good. And we got a good grasp of those note values. I think the thing that was very much lacking in most people's rhythm education was the context of how those note values actually fit into a steady beat. So we know a quarter note's 1 beat, and we can generally do beat, 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 and get our quarter notes going well. But it gets tricky once the note values start to mix and match, and you add ties and dots and all that other stuff. It becomes hard to internalize how those note values relate to the beat. And I think that's the thing that's missing, is that relationship to the beat. I'm going to be going way more in depth on that in the next rest of the week. That's what all of these are about, is connecting the steady beat to the rhythm. So you have that context of like how the note values actually fit together and make rhythms and fit with the steady beat. But what I want to do for today is super important. Like I said, first, show you that you absolutely can have great rhythm. If you stick with this week and do the homework, your rhythm's going to be better at the end of the week, and you're going to have a way to move forward with the rhythm. The second thing that I want to do is make sure that we're all on the same page about how we were taught wrong. So we were taught basically just the note values and the counting, but I want to make sure that we're all on the same page with counting. So if you haven't counted rhythms, if you aren't familiar with like the 1 and 2 and again, it doesn't have to be that specific system where it uses the numbers. If you use Takadimi or the Gordon system or the Eastman system or Any other system of counting is totally fine. As long as you have a system for counting where you can look at a rhythm and a measure and put numbers or syllables or whatever works for you to it, that's fantastic. That's what this is about. Now, if you're a little unsure or you want to brush up on that, or you just want some awesome resources, I have something for you. In my free members area, there is one of the bonuses from my course, True Rhythm Mastery, which is a rhythm tree appendix, is up there. Let me actually pull that up for you really quick so you can see what the rhythm tree appendix actually is. And then I'll show you how to get it in the free members area if you haven't gotten it already. So let's see. Hopefully, I'm using new technology, so it's kind of fun and exciting. Hopefully that worked. Yep, I'll double check just to make sure. It did work. So this is the rhythm tree appendix. What this is like just a 3-page document that shows you the counting in basically every time signature and how things work. So we're probably most familiar with the 4/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and half notes 1, 2, 3, 4. If counting is new to you, your homework is to just study 4/4. Just look at this, make sure you understand how these beats are working. Notice that this one, where it's groupings of 3, is a few bars of it. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your whole note's just the one measure again. So just study that if counting is new to you. If you're familiar with counting and 4/4 is no problem, then feel free to look through a bunch of them. You can look through, there's so many different ones. The one thing that I would be interested, if you do have experience already, check out 6/8 especially. I think this is a little bit different than how most people do it. I tried to come up with a good system that would fit well for 6/8, and this is what I came up with for the course for the number system. So that might be a little different than how you normally count 6/8, and might be useful for you to have that system. Again, if you have your own numbers that you use, is totally fine as long as you know where those important beat 1 and beat 2 in 6/8 are. So now for how to actually get this, you can go to quickstartclarinet.com/get started. And I think I can, hopefully that moved my video out of the way. If you've already been here before, you can hit this login in the top right. If you are new to this, then put in your name and email address here to create a login. You'll get an email with a password and all that information on how to get in there. Let me log in really quick and show you. So once you get in, you'll be looking for the course of the free members area with all the free downloads. And in there, you'll be looking for the rhythm tree appendix. And then you can download that. So then you'll have this whole file to go through and study the counting of things. While you're at it, the free members area has a lot of cool clarinet resources too. This is where like my favorite free handouts go. There's some links to some videos as well, some past trainings I've done, all kinds of good stuff. If you're wanting other things, maybe this counting stuff, you're like, counting, no problem, easy. But it might still be worth getting signed up for some of these other handouts. The other thing that would be very worthwhile for going to quickstartclarinet.com/get started and getting signed up for this is it will also get you onto my email list so that you can keep up with the rhythm challenge and stay on top of everything that's going on there. I'll be sending out some emails giving you guys a heads up that I'm going live, replays, so that you can have all of these good things at your disposal and commit to the challenge. So hopefully that's clear. Let me check if there's any questions in the comments over here on YouTube. If you have any questions at all, type them in the chat now and I'd be happy to answer them. But that's my main things for today. Number one, you absolutely can do rhythm. You have more than enough talent to be really great at rhythm. And even if you're still not convinced, if you stick around for this week, by the end of the week, you will have gone from rhythm challenged to rhythm talent. So I'm really excited for that. Number two, let's make sure that you do the homework so we're all on the same page of counting, go to quickstartclarinet.com/get started. Make an account if you need to, log in if you already have an account, download the rhythm tree appendix so you can study that counting. If you're new to counting, just stick to 4/4. Don't get overwhelmed with everything. If you're an experienced counter, you can look through all of them and see how the counting for all of that's working. But that's it for today. Kept it to about 15 minutes. I feel pretty good about that. And these are going to be, like I said, short, actionable, to the point, with just really one action for you to take to move forward in your clarinet journey. And it looks like we don't have any questions, so I think I will wrap it up there. Thanks so much for being here. Again, quickstartclarinet.com/get started in the description on YouTube. You can click the link to that for your homework is in there. You can get a sneak peek of what we're doing in the future days. Also in the description is a link to more information about my course, True Rhythm Mastery. So if you're excited about having the talent of rhythm, you can just go get the course, go start diving in with that, because that's obviously goes much more in depth than these just short workshops are going to. But in any case, I hope to see you tomorrow live at noon, 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for day number 2, where we're going to be finding the beat, which is that important missing part to rhythm. So I'll see you all tomorrow. I see a couple of people saying thanks in the chat. Thank you guys for watching. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye. Have a good day, everybody.